Hello everyone, welcome to the new session of Microbiology Role of Microorganisms in Fermentation. So there are many microbes that are involved in the process of fermentation that we are going to see in this particular session. So there will be an introduction to the fermentation, that what do we mean by the process of fermentation, right? Microorganism in fermentation. There are different microorganisms that are involved in the process of fermentation, right? So that we are going to study about. And there are some enzymes that are required by the process of fermentation, for the process of fermentation. So that enzyme we are going to study about. There are some innovation in fermentation also. So that also we are going to cover up in this particular session. So let us start. Fermentation is a remarkable natural process that has been utilized by the humans for centuries to create a diverse array of delicious and nutritious foods and beverages, right? So this fermentation is a process. This is used from the remote past, ancient times, in fact. And this is a quite natural process, right? So we are taking a benefit of this fermentation process, right? And we are utilizing from centuries to create a different delicious and nutritious food. So here you can see some drinks are prepared, some pickles are prepared, bread is prepared, and there are some forms of food, South Indian food, that is called as idli, that is also prepared with the help of fermentation process. There are so many food items in India actually. If we go to the Gujarat, then we can have the idli, dhokla. And if we go to the south, then we can have idli and dosa, right? So but there are so many probiotic drinks also that is prepared with the help of the fermentation, right? So we are going to study about how it takes place. So at the heart of this enchanting transformation lie microorganism and enzymes. So behind the process of fermentation, two things are very, very important. The first thing is the microorganisms. Microorganisms. Without the presence of microorganisms, this process cannot take place. And in this microorganism, there are present some important enzymes. These enzymes, if not present, then again the fermentation process cannot take place. So behind this important process, that is the fermentation, two things are required: microorganism and enzymes. They secrete some enzyme, right? So that makes the fermentation possible. So world of microorganism and enzyme in the fermented products, exploring their roles, significance, and the captivating science behind their actions, that we are going to study in this particular session. We will see some of the microbes that are involved in this fermentation process, some of the enzymes that are required for the fermentation process, right? So that we are going to study here. Microorganism in fermentation. Microorganisms, often referred to as microbes, are minuscule living entities that play a pivotal role in the fermentation. So they are very minute organisms. Sometimes they could not be seen with our naked eye. So if you want to see, then you have to require a special aid, that is the microscope, right? And they play a very important role in the process of fermentation. And these microbes are living entities. They can live, they can divide, they can reproduce, they can increase their number, right? And they play a very important role in the process of fermentation. So what are those? Those are microbes or microorganism. They are responsible for converting the raw ingredients into a rich tapestry of flavors, aromas, and textures that define various fermented products, right? So they are very important. They are required to convert the raw material into a new type of substance, that is called as the converting raw ingredients into a rich tapestry of flavors. That substances will have a different flavors, it will have a different aroma, it will have a different texture, right? And it will also have increased volume. This is one of the very important characteristic of the fermentation. Among the most common type of microorganism involved in the fermentation, bacteria, yeast and mold. So these are the three very important and very common, you can say, microorganisms that are involved in the process of fermentation. So let us see how bacteria is there. First one is the bacteria. Bacteria that produces some of the bacteria, they are called as lactic acid bacteria because they produce lactic acid, and that is also called as lab. Lab means lactic acid bacteria are the workhorses behind many fermented foods, because many fermented foods are prepared by this lactic acid bacteria. They thrive in the conditions devoid of oxygen and convert sugar into lactic acid, giving rise to a tangy flavors and preserving the products. So now this sugar is converted into lactic acid, and they do not require any oxygen. So anaerobic bacteria, and they give rise to a tangy flavors and preserving the products. For example, in yogurt production, strains of the lactobacillus and streptococcus species collaborate to curdle the milk and create a creamy delight. So curd, or you can say the yogurt, is prepared by the presence of the lactobacillus and streptococcus bacteria. Right? So this is the lactic acid bacteria, actually, that is the lactobacillus. Yeast. This single cell organism are essential for the alcoholic fermentation. So this is also called as single cell organism. It is also very famously, it is called a single cell organism, and that is yeast. Yeast cell consumes sugar and produces alcohol and carbon dioxide. So there lactic acid was produced, here alcohol is produced, product got changed, but the process is same. Process is same, organism got changed because they are using different enzyme. The enzyme that bacteria was using for the fermentation process was different. The enzyme that yeast was using for the fermentation process is different. So what is behind this fermentation process giving every time a different product? Enzyme. Right? So this process is the foundation of beer, wine and bread production. So now we are having a bakery industry, we are having a liquor industry, right? Brewery, so many industries, and behind that industries, what is there? Yeast. So yeast is very, very important. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, this is the scientific name of this yeast, commonly known as baker's yeast, and it is the superstar in the realm of the fermentation. So that is why you can imagine that this whole industry is based on this microbe. Liquor industry, bread industry, all is based on this single microbe, that is yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Next is the mold. Mold-based fermentation contribute to the unique products such as blue cheese and damp. These filamentous microorganisms break down the complex compound, transforming the taste, texture, aroma of the final products. Penicillium roqueforti, for instance, lend to the distinct blue veins or to the blue cheese. So some of the molds are also used. For example, penicillium also comes in the category of the molds, and they form the blue cheese. So blue color cheese is made from the mold, right? Now here you can see Aspergillus, Lactobacillus, Saccharomyces. This is the mold. This is the Lactobacillus, that is the bacteria. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, yeast, right? So Aspergillus, soya sauce is prepared, Lactobacillus gives out the lactic acid. Cheese and yogurt is prepared. Saccharomyces, ethanol and CO2 is given, beer is produced. Ethanol, wine is produced. Carbon dioxide is given, bread is produced. So you can understand how this is important. Now glucose, by the process of which process? Glycolysis. Glycolysis that occur where? In the cytoplasm. This glucose is 6 carbon compound and this pyruvate is 2 carbon compound. Now this pyruvate which is present in the cell, it is present in the cell. Cell means cytoplasm. It can be converted to the lactic acid by the aspergillus, lactic acid by the lactobacillus, ethanol and carbon dioxide by the Saccharomyces, ethanol or carbon dioxide simply in this with the help of Saccharomyces. So now you can understand how this is very important. These microbes uses different enzymes to give out the different types of products. Now, role of enzyme as a catalyst. So enzymes are the remarkable proteins that act as a catalyst in the biochemical reaction. So you all know that enzymes are biochemically made up of protein and they are acting as a catalyst, means they are, suppose some reaction is going on, the rate of reaction is very slow. So in the presence of that particular enzyme, the rate of chemical reactions increases many folds, and that biochemical reaction is a boon for that particular microbes, right? So that microbes can multiply and that give rise a lot of enzymes. There are a lot of substrate, bioproduct is there, and that can be used to convert into a new product with the help of biochemical reaction. And for this biochemical reaction we require certain enzymes, and that enzymes are given by the microbes itself. In the context of fermentation, enzymes are responsible for breaking down complex molecules into the simpler forms. Now the complex molecules are converted to the simpler forms by the microbes as they give rise some enzymes. That enzymes work as a catalyst to increase the rate of reaction, and finally this complex substances is broken down into the simpler forms, facilitating the conversion of the raw ingredients into the delectable products. So we are requiring these products, right? They are secreted by the microorganism and often remain active even after the microbes are deactivated or removed. So sometimes if the microbe is removed or if the microbes get die, then also that enzymes are present there and they can activate the reaction in the many folds. So first enzyme let's talk about, that is the amylase. These enzymes target starches breaking down into sugar like glucose and maltose. So these amylase work upon the starch. Okay, the starch is there. Now amylase enzyme convert it into sugar. Starch is a complex carbohydrate. It is converted into glucose and maltose. Okay, in brewing, amylases present in the malted barley convert starches into fermentable sugar, which yeast then convert into alcohol. So first amylase is extracted and it is converted to the sugar. Now this sugar get fermented in the presence of yeast and convert it into the alcohol. So this amylase is so very important. Proteases responsible for breaking down the proteins into amino acids. Proteases are key players in the development of the umami flavors in the fermented product. So sometimes this fermented products are having some flavor that is called as umami flavors, and that is due to the presence of proteases. And these proteases are what? These are the enzymes that convert proteins into amino acids. The controlled action of the proteases during the soya sauce fermentation, for instances, contribute to its savory complexity. So soya sauce, for the production of the soya sauce, this proteases is important. Next enzyme is the lipases. These enzymes target fats and oils, hydrolyzing them into the fatty acid and glycerol. Lipases contribute to the rich texture and the flavoring found in the cheese as they break down fats during the aging. So, this is used in the preparation of cheese, lipases, because it changes the fats to fatty acid and glycerol. Health benefits of the fermented products. How these fermented products are beneficial for the health. Beyond their tantalizing flavor, fermented products offer a plethora of the health benefits. Okay, they are very good for the health, these fermented foods. The fermented process can enhance the nutrient availability because it is increasing the nutrient availability, reducing anti-nutrient that get reduced and produces a bioactive compound that support digestion and overall well-being. So these fermented foods are quite good for the digestion because these are already half digested food. So it is quite good for the digestion and it is having enhanced nutrient availability. And there are some anti-nutrients that get also suppressed down. So this food is very beneficial for our health. Probiotics, live microorganisms with the potential health benefits, are often found in the fermented foods like yogurt, kefir and kimchi, aiding gut health and immune function. So sometimes we just consume the probiotic food, right? Because these bacteria, when are present in our gut, they are helpful in our immune system. So that is why also this is a very important. And if your gut is healthy, you will be healthy. And for your gut to be healthy, you must consume the fermented food products. Your gut must contain some of the microbes. And you all know that vitamin B12 is produced in our intestine with the help of bacteria. And this is very important. Vitamin B12 is very, very important, right? While traditional fermentation method have stood the test of time, modern technology has ushered in the new possibilities. So we were using some old-fashioned traditional fermentation product, but due to the changing of the technology with the time, we are having some new modern technology that can take place for the process of fermentation in a better way. Researchers and the food enthusiasts have exploring the novel ways of the manipulate microorganism and enzyme to create innovative fermented products. So researcher and scientists are nowadays, what they are doing, they are manipulating the microorganism with the help of biotechnology technique, and they are creating some required enzyme with that, right? And they can innovatively ferment our food and food products in a different way. So advances in the microbiology and the genetic engineering allow for the precise control of fermentation processes. So this is the precision of the fermentation. This led to the development of the customized flavor. So what type of flavor we want, we can have the different textures, we can have the nutritional profiles in products, and this is done with the help of genetic engineering, microbiology unitedly coming together. Alternative sources. Fermentation can be utilized to transform the unconventional raw materials into edible delights. For instance, companies are exploring fermentation plant-based proteins to create meat alternatives with enhanced taste and texture. So to the organisms we are using for the meat. If we don't want to eat, then there are some plant-based protein that can give you the same taste and texture, the ones you get by the consumption of the meat. So that will become the meat alternatives, right? So that is the alternative source. So this is all about this session. We will have some more session. Till then, thank you very much.